sorry, Micki. Here you go. She is a board member here and also a very talented artist. She's going to talk about how music has taken her places that she never ever thought she was going to be. Is that a good way of saying it?
Sure.
Micki Miller.
Thank you. I'm so honored to be a part of this. I hate talking, so it's ironic that I'm doing this right now. So I'm gonna read a little bit of my journey. It's not a short story, but I'm gonna try to condense it briefly. I remember standing on a stage in the Philippines, and we finished our music set, and the crowd started yelling encore. And in that moment, I'm born and raised from South Bend. I've had a moment of disbelief and gratitude. Like the little girl from South Bend, I grew up really shy. I was like the kid that would whisper in my mom's ear messages to relate to my brothers, my biological brothers. I was scared to talk to my biological brothers. I remember one time when I was in school, my mom called me to the room. The phone had rang for me. And I was crying because I didn't want to answer the phone. I didn't want to talk on the phone. That's how much I hated talking as a kid. And obviously I gave the kids my number, but I cried because I didn't want to talk to them on the phone. I was so shy. I was so scared to use my voice as a kid. And somehow I ended up in the Philippines standing on the stage having a surreal moment of gratitude and just being overtaken with emotion because music had brought me so far. Like, I hadn't ever experienced anything like this in my life. I was an introvert most of my life. Growing up, I had a lot of friends. I hung out with everyone. But I always had a very weird way about me. I think all musicians are kind of weird, to be honest. But I was super quiet. And I found myself being on stages singing in front of people. I was always okay with being in the background. I was okay not being the center of attention. And I grew up in a household full of music. My mom was signed to a major gospel label when I was a kid. My older brother was signed. He did rap music in New York for 12 years. And then my other brother eventually was nominated for a Grammy, so I was always around music. I was always surrounded by music and been inspired by music for my whole life. So in 2013, I decided I wanted to find my way in music and create my own journey for music. And I put out my first project called Love Letters, which I dedicated it to love and God and life. And I wrote songs about just different things that I experienced. And for once, I kind of found my voice through music. After that, I remember my brother reaching out to me. There's this artist, his name is Robert Glasper. He's one of my favorite jazz musicians. And my brother reached out to me. He's like, hey, I just got a text message from Robert Glasper. He heard your record. I don't know how, but some guy played it for him, and he is impressed. He wants to know if it's cool if I give him your number. So he texted me, and my hands were shaking as I was receiving these messages and talking to him because I was never comfortable communicating, as I've told you all. So I sat there in that moment and having a moment of validation, feeling like, wow, like the person that is literally responsible for me wanting to do music is telling me that my music sounds good and I'm doing a phenomenal job. To onward, starting to work on another project by the name of Coldest Winter. And in that project, I really just wanted to talk about my life experiences that I always kept to myself. Music became my voice. Music became my way to express myself when normally I would just keep it to myself. And following that, I continued making music. I just felt so inspired because different things kept occurring as if with anything in life, as most of you know, when you're doing what you're supposed to do, the universe kind of just works things out. So in 2016, I did a project called Summertime Shy, and I tell people this all the time that this particular project changed my life. This guy named Eric Roberson is a neo-soul artist and known for a ton of songwriting, a ton of songs that he wrote in the industry. He reached out to my brother and said, "Are you related to Micki Miller?" He's like, "My band just played her music, And I can't believe what I'm hearing. My brother said, yeah, she's the one I told you you need to listen to. And you know, artists, they have people tell them all the time, listen to my brother, listen to my sister, listen to... He was just like, man, this is incredible. So he took it upon himself. And this is really just to give, like, shine to the power of word of mouth. He reached out to DJ Jazzy Jeff, who most of you probably know him for being thrown out of Uncle Phil's house on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. But before that, he was really well known for being a huge pillar in the hip-hop industry and really one of the grandfathers of hip-hop and really pushing forward that culture. He listened to my music and was so impressed by it that he decided that he wanted to endorse my music publicly. So he goes on social media. Now social media is like a big deal these days. And he posts how much he loved my music, which changed my life in a moment. All these thousands of people that follow him are now exposed to my music. To him reaching out to Questlove of The Roots, and he plays for Jimmy Fallon every night, so you guys probably see Questlove quite a bit. To all these different people in the industry paying attention to this little girl from South Bend, Indiana that didn't like to talk, still doesn't like to talk. I don't want to be talking right now.
You're doing a good job.
And in that, it just showed me how important it is to find your voice, no matter what it is you do. And my sister told me something it stuck with me and sticks with me every day, that sometimes your purpose is not your preference. And I realized that, like, man, I don't like to talk. I don't like to be in front of people. I don't want to be the center of attention. But music has been the reason that I realized that my purpose is bigger than my preference. And music has given me a voice that I didn't have as a kid. And now I'm able to express myself through music. So I would like to dedicate this song to music. Let's take a day and just ride the air. Let's fly away and leave all our cares. Forget our worries and all our fears. Let's find a way to get lost from here. We're gonna fly away, magical highway. I love it when we're cruising, cruising. Let's take the highway. We can ride all day. I love it when we're cruising, cruising. Cruising,
Thank you guys so much.